So, 2-0 to the Baggies, 2-0 to the Good at half-time, pulling themselves away from the relegation zone in the Championship. All well and good as far as the Baggies are concerned. At the other end of the spectrum, in terms of excitement, it takes us to St Andrews very much, because I've been watching the game here in the studio, very much an end-of-season kind of feel to the game at St Andrews. Birmingham City against Blackburn, the half-time details, Ed Mackay and Kim Smith.
Hi Ben, how you doing?
I'm good.
I'll just say, I just said exactly what you said. It really has that sort of end of season malaise feel about it, because there's no one gambling to get forward and get a goal. You know, it just seems like they're both content to get a point. I'm not sure that'll be the case when Blackburn find out the Baggies are 2-0 up, because of course they can still get dragged back into that relegation battle. But I don't know what you think, Kim. It just feels like there's not enough jeopardy for Birmingham City.
Yeah, not at the moment. I mean, the standout bit of the half was an excellent double save from James Beadle. And of course, Ibrahim Osman has also added to Blues' stat of being the team that's hit the woodwork most by hitting the woodwork. But yeah, we were saying that Blackburn are being quite sort of cautious, aren't they? And I think that's making a difference for them. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what O'Neill says to them at half time.
Well, Blues definitely look the more comfortable when they have possession than ball, because they're prepared to send a man or two forward. But once they get to the 18-yard box, they don't look like they've got too much venom in what they're trying to achieve in getting the ball in the back of the net. I would say I agree with you about Blackburn. They're hitting the ball up into Blues half, but with no real support for Hashi to actually grab a goal. So yeah, like you say, not a particularly exciting one at 0-0 at half time, but we'll see what the half-time team talks bring, I suppose.
Yes, indeed. I mean, there's plenty of options for Chris Davis on the bench. I mean, Damari Gray's now fit again. There's John Foley's available. Vicente, August Brisker. So there are plenty of options to change it up and add to the attack.
Samshield just looks a bit isolated at the moment. Marcus Dush is dropping very deep to get hold of the ball. He's trying to hit it over the top for Stansfield to run onto, but he hasn't got that through ball right once. So it keeps just going back to the keeper. He blasts it long, doesn't stick at that end either. So yeah, they need to have a bit more conviction in what they're trying to achieve.
Yeah, I think so. But hopefully we'll see some more action in the second half then.
Yeah, and it's performances that Blues fans are looking for. That's the thing towards the end of the season.
Yeah.
The results are largely irrelevant, but they need something to get them excited about during the close season. So we'll have to wait and see what comes from that. But for now, Ed Mackay and Kim Smith, thank you very much indeed. We'll be back with you guys at full time. We have other action ongoing as well on this Good Friday afternoon. I've been telling myself not to say that it's Saturday, but yes, definitely Good Friday afternoon. There's been action as well in the National League, where it is the local derby between Tamworth and Solihull Moors. Solihull Moors getting that crucial result against Altrincham last week that has just eased any kind of relegation fears as far as they are concerned. We will be going to the Lamb very shortly to get the details of the first half. Goalless there between Tamworth and Solihull Moors. But as far as other results are going on in the Championship, it finished at lunchtime. In fact, we'll come back to that in just a moment, because we can now get the story of the first half from the Lamb between Tamworth and Solihull Moors with Nathan Richards.
Hello, Ben, can you hear me?
Gotcha.
Perfect. Great. Well, I'd say it was a great start, but of course, both teams 0-0 heading into half-time. Tamworth probably got the better of it, I think, in the opening first 45 minutes. I think first 20, both teams had the ball in each other's box, but then for the final 15 minutes, Tamworth were really on it and had, I think, 3 really good opportunities. But heading into half-time, I think both teams are going to have to start thinking about what changes they're going to make heading into the final 45, because there's a few things that just aren't quite working for both teams. So yeah, at half-time, it's 0-0.
Thank you, Nathan. Will be joining yourself at full time. So, good Friday afternoon here on BHBN Radio, Birmingham Sports. Welcome along. Across the wards, all throughout the afternoon, we brought you live coverage of West Bromwich Albion against Wrexham. Finished in a 2-2 draw for the Baggies. They had the 3 points in their grasp, but they have let it slip through their fingers. And could they rue that come the end of the season? They now have a massive game against Blackburn Rovers on Easter Monday. And is the season just fizzling out for Birmingham City? And it'd be interesting to know what the reaction is at St Andrews after a 1-0 defeat to Blackburn Rovers. With the story, Ed Mackay and Kim Smith.
Yeah, I've just been recording the end of match analysis to go on our other platforms, Ben, and what I was all day of frustration for the Birmingham City fans, because Birmingham City offered nothing in trying to score a goal. I was just saying to Kim, okay, there isn't a lot to play for, but these are professional footballers. They should be self-motivated to try and win a game of football for their fans. And to be honest, the fans had every right to be disappointed with that performance. They booed them at the end, and there was only half the fans left by the final whistle. When they went over to clap their home fans, they actually did get a bit of abuse from them. And okay, I don't always agree with supporters being toxic in that way, but I do understand their frustration. I mean, Kim's a Birmingham City fan. She's usually very measured, but even you must be frustrated with that, Kim.
Yeah, well, I think the issue is that I don't know what the real problem is underlying that. I don't know whether Chris Davis knows what the real problem is, and which also concerns me as to how you can put it right. The team just seems so lacking in confidence.
So flat, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, Stansfield, as we were saying, looks like a player who hasn't scored for a long time. And the one or two shots he did get off, he didn't really have the confidence to sort of hit them with any venom.
No.
We've got so many players now who haven't got that much championship experience. And I wonder if some of the issue is that some of them know they have been found out and they don't know what to do about it.
I do think that as well, there must be some sort of psychological block in that they've got them to play for and they're quite happy to see out the season. But for me, that's not good enough.
No, it isn't. Because you're still playing for your place next season, or you're playing to put yourself in the shop window if you're on loan, or you're coming to the end of the contract, or even if you're thinking, actually, I want to go somewhere else. So, actually, you owe it to yourself to put your best performances in, don't you?
And even if, like, there are sort of, rumours flying around about Chris Davies' position, but if a new manager comes in, what do you think he's going to do? He's going to watch tape for the last 6 games. So you want to put it in for, I did think that was really poor, that second half from Birmingham. And I've been myself quite measured. I've let them off. I think losing away at Millwall isn't, that bad. But today, against Blackburn at home, there was a real good feel-good factor before the game with the Peaky Blinders partnership and everything that was going on. And then on the pitch, just a complete lack of desire to win the game.
Yeah, the first half was pretty even. Both teams had the same amount of corners, and let's
One
say
big chance each as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that very good double save from Riedel, which should have G'd everybody else up as well, because he
kept you in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. But what on earth's going on?
I do think that there's a lot of good footballers in the Birmingham City team. Like, they're tidy on the ball, and they do have a bit of creativity in there, but nobody has any ideas of what to do when they get into the final third. Osman, Vicente, Damari Gray, I mean, they're all just smacking the ball into Rose Ed every time, rather than putting a decent delivery into the box. And even if they did put a decent delivery in the box, there's nobody there to attack it. Dutch was pretty anonymous today. Jay Stansfield is always playing with his back to goal. As Kim said, the one time he did manage to open his body up and get a shot off, it had no conviction in it. I do think today, I'll be interested to hear what Chris Davis has to say, because that was poor.
I can't.
Kim, sorry, Kim. Where has it gone wrong? Can you pinpoint where it's gone wrong? Because Millwall have gone and won at Middlesbrough today and gone second in the Championship into an automatic promotion place. Coventry City, miles clear at the top of the table. It wasn't that long ago that Blues beat both of those sides convincingly at St Andrews. So where has it gone wrong?
I know, it's one of these. It's really difficult to work out exactly what has happened. I mean, okay, there were injury issues with some fairly pivotal players. And Jamari Gray was great at the start of the season, then got an injury and hasn't been as good since he came back. And I think that might have happened to one or two other people. And of course, what did happen as well was that Kai Wagner came in January and was really good. He really hit the ground running, and now he's got a broken collarbone, and that has made a difference as well, because he was getting to be a very good provider for people to get on the end of.
But missing talent doesn't account for a lack of effort.
No.
There's a severe lack of effort here. Like they're boring to watch, Ben. And like you said, they looked pretty swashbuckling when they were taking on Coventry City and winning. But they're really boring. I mean, the boos were ringing out from about 60th minute here, because all they do is pass the ball between Clara and Robinson, blast it up into the channel, it comes back. And it's dull.
Yeah, and they did kind of gamble in January as well, didn't they? When the playoffs were in their sights, and they did splash the cash.
Yeah.
And our theory is that they're not going to do that in the summer so much because of what they did in January. So it's important, or it has been important, to give the fans. Okay, they've accepted they're not going to get in the playoffs now, but it's important that they had to give the fans something to get excited about over the course of the summer.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, you're not going to get in the playoffs. So what? Can't we say we're playing for a top 10 finish or something like that?
Yeah.
Something to go for. And also, it's a bank holiday. You've got a full ground. Your home fans are here. And to put a performance out like that, I do think is a bit disappointing from Birmingham City.
And they go to Ipswich on Easter Monday, who will be chomping at the bit to get towards the automatic places as well, having not played today because their opponent Southampton would have been their opponents there in FA Cup action. So Ipswich will be fresh for that on Monday as well, and it'll be a case of them having to stand up and be counted.
Let me tell you, if they play like that against Ipswich, they will get a good hiding.
Okay.
Because I'm going to Ipswich on Monday, and we'll be reporting on it.
Yeah.
And I really hope they get their digits saved.
Okay, and just for context as well, before I let you guys go, because it'd be fascinating to hear what Chris Davis has to say. What can West Brom fans expect from Blackburn on Monday as well, having seen them today?
They're not the most exciting team either, but they were really defensively organised for the whole game. And then when they got their chance, they took it. Basically, Cantwell is the man. If you mark him out of the game, he takes every throw in, every free kick. He scores the goal. Their captain, Cantwell, is their danger man, basically.
Yeah.
Took the goal well, didn't he? As well.
He did.
He did.
There's no doubt about that as far as Todd Cantwell is concerned. So, finished Birmingham City 0, Blackburn Rovers 1, and disappointing day all round. Kim Smith, Ed Mackay, excellent work. Get yourselves off to the press conference and see what Chris Davis has to say, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks, Ben.
Cheers.
Thank you very much indeed, Kim Smith and Ed Mackay, as we were saying there. So, very disappointing as far as Birmingham City are concerned. And, the season really is just fizzling out, isn't it? There's no doubt about that. So we will, over the course of the next 45 minutes or so while we're together, go through all of the scores from up and down the country. There's a third game that we've been covering today. It was a local derby in the National League at the Lamb. Tamworth against Solihull Mawson, with the details details. Nathan Richards.
Of course, it was Derby Day indeed here at the Lamb Ground. It was Tamworth who took the 3 points here against Solihull Moors, and of course, of all people, it was Dan Creaney, who was actually on loan to Tamworth from Solihull Moors last season and joined them on a free transfer later on in 25-26. And it was, I think, for the majority of the game, it was a little bit of a nothing game from both teams. Both of them had, I think, maybe 1 or 2 shots on target, but of course, it was that one goal that defined the end result, and it was Tamworth 1, Solihull Moors 0.
We were just saying, Nathan, obviously you weren't hearing this, of course, with the narrative of Birmingham City's season fizzling out rather disappointingly. It's a similar story for Solihull Moors in the National League, isn't it?
Definitely, yeah. I think Solihull now have won 1 in 11, which is not that far actually from Blues' track record at the minute. But no, it's not good for Solihull Moors at all. And the issue is, they're in a situation of they're not fighting for relegation, they're not fighting for playoffs, so the players have not got fight because there's nothing to fight for. So it's a little bit disappointing. There isn't anything for them to try and clinch on to and just get to the end of the season and then hope they can try and rebuild ahead of 26-27.
Yeah, and what will the makeup of the squad be by that time? I mean, they take on Boreham Wood at home on Easter Monday, and it will be fascinating as far as that's concerned. But Boreham Wood cemented within the playoffs. I don't think they're not going to catch York City at the very top of the table. But that's going to be a tough game on Monday.
Definitely, and Boreham Wood only came up last season from the National League South, so they are they're a very aggressive team. They play a lot of just aggressive football, a lot of no-nonsense defending. They are not a team that many want to go and play. So it's going to be a tricky game for Solihull Moors indeed.
Okay, thank you very much indeed, Nathan Richards at the Lamb this afternoon, where it finished at Tamworth 0, Tamworth 1, I should say. I was hopeful there. Tamworth 1, Solihull Moors 0.